I was at the American Physical Therapy Association annual convention, and Hoka is there. And Hoka, look,
Yep.
you want a technical running shoe so you can go run thousands of miles. You do what you need to do. But this, I have fear, is not good for us. Am I right in that understanding?
Yes. 100%. 100%. And the listeners could see my face when you're swimming, but I am just like appalled or scared that he is going to fall from something like that. So, what a lot of these like super shoes or maximal shoes now have is they obviously have a lot of cushion. The cushion is taking away the sensory information from the feet or from the feet and from the ground. We need to feel that to control posture and balance. But then you're right, it's a stack. So the height that you are actually elevated off of the ground when you are already older, and there is a known age-related decline in the sensitivity and the awareness of the feet. Compound that by adding cushion and adding stack, rigidity to the shoes, so there's just no toe dexterity, etc. So all of these shoes are a great contributor. There is a researcher, if the listeners are curious to learn more about it, his name is Dr. Stephen Robbins, and his website is his name. And he essentially dedicated his career to study the impact of shoes, midsoles, cushions, so just all the features and the hardness or the softness of shoes on older individuals and perception, balance, gait, fall risk, etcetera. So he has a lot of data behind that. So it's known. Um, what I will say for Hoka, not that I'm defending Hoka, but what I like about Hoka that is potentially an advantage, but could we get it in a more minimal shoe is the rocker. So it does have a carbon fiber rocker that, from a podiatry perspective, is great for people with hallux limitus or no range of motion or limited range of motion in the big toe, or who have issues under the second. They have neuromas. They have these forefoot issues that cause them to have pain every time they push off and take a step. Or if they're having a hard time finding a longer step. So step length influences walking speed, which is important. There's another shoe called an MBT, and I think it was called Mosaic Barefoot Technology. It's still around. That stack, if the listeners Google it, is even higher than the Hoka. And it has a rocker though, which is nice, but a stack that just freaks me out. So I'm very much of an advocate of barefoot baby boomers or more minimal shoes for the aging population.
Juliet and I are battling. Go ahead. You ask
Yeah,
your question.
so I think I have 2 questions here, but to me, the use case of these shoes because, we're around, like, we're both 52, 51, but that's sort of the age group of people that we're hanging around with,
Mhm.
and I see that there's a use case for some of those people who are trying to hang on to, like, running, for example,
Mhm.
and the only way that they can run is to run in these shoes, and that's a whole different conversation, but to me, maybe that's a good use case for the shoes.
Sure.
But what we see is everybody around Marin County where we live is just wearing these shoes around everywhere.
Yeah.
And so let's just say maybe they're a very specialized use case for like you're 55 and you want to continue running and it's the only way you can run without pain. Okay, fine. Check. But what what are the potential like future downstream impacts for people in the 40, 50 age range who are wearing these shoes around a lot of the time? What
Mhm.
what are the potential impacts? Like what could you say to scare those people away from wanting to like wear those shoes to Trader Joe's?
Yeah. So there is research that shows chronic use, long-term frequent use of supportive shoes. Hoka would be considered supportive with lots of cushion, lots of stack, and or arch supports like custom orthotics, etc., causing an atrophy, a weakening, and a denervation of your foot muscles, the 26 muscles in the bottom of the foot, the intrinsics, from using things like that. So you become actually a little bit dependent on the shoe to then navigate the impact. That's really the biggest part. You're also figuring out how to move with like half the information that you need to actually create proper movement, right? Like, you will still figure out how to move in the HOKAs, and just like people with neuropathy, they figure out how to move and walk, but are they moving well? Are they moving confidently, right? So, we definitely want to be thinking about our foot health, our foot awareness, our movement quality now, 40s, 50s, 60, right? Because it's not something that you can reactively reverse. Like, it doesn't it's like waking up in your 70s and like, "Oh, oops, I'm gonna go get Botox on my whole face." Like, it just doesn't work. Like, it's
Yeah, I mean,
gotta take care of stuff earlier.
yeah, I mean, it seems like, there's so many conversations now on the internet about this sort of inevitable loss of bone and
Mhm.
inevitable loss of muscle and, maybe even we don't think inevitable loss of mobility as you age. And so people, I think, are paying a lot more attention to try to hang on to those things.
Yep.
And, it sounds like retaining your foot function and paying attention to it in these earlier decades is really critical to, sort of protecting your body as you age and sort of should have that same level of attention as these other things, which are also getting so much attention.
So
Absolutely.
with that, and I'll come back to my other question. What do you recommend for people? There's something that's going to happen. People are going to listen to this and they're like, I'm very interested in not falling. I'm very
Mhm.
interested in higher performance. We talk about balance and foot strength and mobilizing the feet. We've been doing this for as long as we can possibly imagine. There's definitely a use case, of course, for orthotics when people have pain and can't mobilize. They have degenerative changes or bony structure changes that we have all of these tools so we can keep people engaged in the world. And I want to just point out that out there. I have seen enough, we'll just say, really amazing feet that have adapted to very strange environments
Mhm.
that with the right support plus exercise intervention really allow people to continue to live their lives and not just be disabled because it really you could be disabled, break a toe and then suddenly you really realize how important your toes are. But there's got to be some things that I can do day to day that also doesn't just shut me out from exercising or playing. Like, I don't, to be honest, I don't think I have an hour to work on my feet every day. So as the expert in sensory innervation of foot health, where do I begin to untangle this seemingly Gordian knot of foot function? What should I do?
Yes, and that is a perfect question because I have a 5-minute program that people can do every day, every morning. So, what I tell people to do, and this is literally every human, if you have feet and a pulse, this pertains to you, right? But if you're really
I
thinking
actually know some
about
people who don't have a pulse
right,
between
right,
their feet.
because if you're thinking about, "Okay, let me prioritize this now, 40s, 50s, right, for it." Any age, you work out, you run, I don't care what it is. This is important for everyone as an adult for their foot health. When you wake up in the morning is to do a 2-minute foot release. I will advocate the Naboso neural ball which is over here, that you take it, it splits into 2 pieces, stand on the 2 domes, 5 points, 20 seconds. It takes 2 minutes to do it. Great. Okay, step off of it. This is still in the morning. You're brushing your teeth, right? We do this when you brush your teeth. Boom, you're there. You're still in front of your bathroom sink. Is to do a few movements like this of the foot. So you would just stand, lift your toes, spread them out as wide as you can, and just roll a little bit to the outside inside. You're just kind of waking up the foot and the ankle. You're going to stay centered, stand nice and tall, stiff as a board, and you're going to do what's called a forward lean. You will imagine that you are stiff as a board. You will lean forward slightly, bring it back, lean forward. Every time you lean forward, your toes are going to reflexively activate into the ground. It's a postural reflex. 5 to 8 times, exhale every time you come forward. Great. You're still standing with your feet shoulder width apart. You're now going to grip the ground or connect the ground with your toes without leaning. Hold it there. Shift your weight to one leg and balance on one leg for 10 seconds. Bring your foot down, do it on the other side. So you're going to do a 10-second balance 3 times on each side. You are then going to reach down, take the ball, close it, put it between your heels, and you're going to do 10 repetitions of heel raises, squeezing the ball between your heel. And that's it.